Hey, hello everyone. Happy Saturday. Hope that y'all are having a great start to your December and a great start to your weekend as well. It's been a while since I've gone live, and by a while I mean a couple months, but lately it's been kind of hectic with clients that I'm getting situated with and things of that nature. But now that we are hitting sort of a slow season, since we are getting into Christmas, I have more time to focus on getting back to social media like I used to. So I'm excited to do industry talk once again. I have some very exciting topics that I look forward to speaking about over these next couple of weeks that'll definitely help my accounting and finance businesses out there who are trying to scale in their businesses and also leverage in what they're trying to do with their copy as well. So let me take a moment to briefly introduce myself while everyone starts coming in. Welcome. So glad to see you again. So first and foremost, you're probably wondering who in the world am I, because you're probably new. If you're an OG, then please let me know. But my name is Derica, and I'm your new copywriting cousin. If you did not have a copywriting cousin before, you do now through me. And I specifically help accounting and finance businesses elevate their copy using storytelling strategies to help them not just grow, but elevate online and in their businesses. We're changing up a few things for a lot of reasons, but we'll get into that later. And welcome to Industry Talk. Industry Talks are my segments that I used to do every Saturday, like a couple months ago before the big rush came to me, where I touch on a specific accounting or finance related topic and really touch on some storytelling strategies or even some storytelling and copywriting tips that you can utilize in your businesses to avoid these conflicts, to really see some change in your business and in your copy as well. So we like to kiki, we like to just chill since it is a Saturday morning. So please let me know how y'all are doing so far. Awesome. So glad to see you again. So yeah, I have titled this industry talk The Holiday Rush. Now, the reason why I wanted to title it The Holiday Rush is because we are in the final holiday of 2022. Crazy because November just went by like that, but hey, we are officially in Christmas season, y'all. So your copy, if you are an accounting or finance related business who is selling something, whether it's a digital product, trying to book people for tax season, because that is a big one that is coming for my accounting and tax related businesses as well. Tax season is quickly approaching. And I know that some of y'all are starting to onboard new clients now. You're starting to promote your services to onboard new clients to meet your specific revenue goals for the tax season and even for 2023 as well, whichever one it is for you. But no matter what you're doing, this is the peak season in order to do it, which is why I'm calling it the holiday rush, because time seems to be kind of running out because we're like 22 days away from Christmas, right? But there's still an opportunity for you to use storytelling and copywriting to really elevate your Christmas copy. But I'm going to admit, this morning when I was looking back at the topics that I wanted to talk about today, there was a little bit of a shift. We're still going to touch a little bit about the holiday rush. I know I already did that in my 2 previous posts. So if you have not seen those posts, please go back and look at them. I'll also repost them in my stories today so that you can get caught up. If you're watching this on another platform like YouTube or anything like that, be sure to check the link in my bio, because I'll have the link to my Instagram page down there. Well, not my bio, the description, and you can go see it from there. So like I said, there was a little bit of a shift that occurred, and it was because of some things that popped up in my email. So I get like email publications and things of that nature from like the AICPA and things of that nature, just because I like to keep up with the accounting, tax, and finance related news that's out there. And I also follow a bunch of people who are in these industries as well, so that I can keep up with what's going on. So there's something very interesting that popped up that does relate to the holiday rush, but can also relate to this upcoming tax season and for 2023 in general and beyond, that is alarming in the accounting and finance spaces that we need to talk about. So that's what we're going to touch on today. Now, y'all know my mind. my memory is not that good. And I think it's because I look at words so much during my day, during my week especially, that my brain is kind of like fried. And I'll give it a break for Christmas, y'all. I'm going on my annual Christmas break. I haven't decided the dates, but it's coming. But I'll do that. Anyways, the topics that I want to talk about are crises in the accounting and tax spaces. Yes, there is some crises going on that's causing a little bit of panic in these industries that I want to touch on briefly, and then go into my personal and professional opinion on what this means and how you can improve your copy so that you won't make these mistakes as well. So, first and foremost, there was something interesting that I read in the publication that I received. I received it earlier this week, but I just reviewed it this morning before I got on live. And basically what it talked about is a couple things. One, there is low accounting enrollment and CPA candidates. Now, bear with me because I know that most of y'all who are running accounting and finance related businesses, you're not necessarily onboarding new employees. And if you are, then this still applies too. But the reason why I want to say this is because there's a lesson to be learned to improve your copy. So bear with me here. So, one, they're talking about low accounting enrollments and CPA candidacies. So not that many people are going into the accounting field, and or not that many people are signing up to take the CPA exam. I'm a prime example of it, so I will be providing my opinion as to why that is, because I feel like during my time in college, I was in the middle of this shift that was going to occur anyway, but I'll provide my own perspective on it afterwards, but let me also talk about this. There's also a current crisis going on where there are less people, like I mentioned, becoming accountants and CPAs. And this is causing a lot of the bigger like accounting and finance related firms to kind of panic because they're wondering, what can we do? Like, what exactly is the issue? What are we doing wrong and things of that nature? And how can we fix it to really get like college students or even people who are in the accounting spaces, but they're just not becoming CPAs and things of that nature? How do we get that to change? How do we see some type of shift in things of that nature? And I found some interesting reasons as to why they're saying this is occurring, but one really stuck out to me. So a lot of the reasons that they talked about, like, for example, effects of COVID and things of that nature, that's true. COVID really did jumpstart this transition. It actually fast-tracked it. I talked about that in a previous industry talk. I'm not sure which episode it was, but I talked about how COVID and the effects of COVID definitely skyrocketed the the shift that's occurring in the accounting and finance spaces, which was going to happen anyway, but it just fast-tracked it and made it a little bit quicker. It came faster than they expected. But what I specifically found interesting about one of the reasons that they mentioned is that they have a lack of proper branding. And I could not agree more with that point. Now, it was the very last point. The other points that were mentioned were more internal, like fixing specific pipelines and things of that nature, or structuring the CPA exam differently. I hear that they're trying to do that too. But that is the big, like, hit the nail on the head, bullseye. Like, there you go. You got it right there. It's the branding. The branding is off. And if y'all have been in business for any amount of time, definitely within a year or more, you know that branding is going to be one of the big keys to really getting yourself out there and really getting your audience to understand who you are, what you're all about, and how you can help them with their problems, right? Especially when it comes to their finances, when it comes to budgeting, when it comes to auditing, when it comes to avoiding tax penalties and things of that nature. Branding is important. And if you're not branding correctly, you're going to be branding to the wrong people, and you'll bring in the wrong people first and foremost. But not only that, you're going to continue to see problems like they're experiencing here, where they're having low enrollment with the CPA exam and less people wanting to become accountants in their industries, you know? So I say that that's a nail on the head right there. Now, let me talk a little bit about my opinion on this, my professional opinion on this, and my personal story as well. As y'all know, I am a storytelling copywriter. I help these accounting and finance businesses tell professional stories to really build relationships with their audiences and so much more. But my professional and personal opinion, this was bound to happen, like I mentioned earlier. It's just that a lot of factors just fast tracked it to the point where these types of businesses in these industries were not expecting it. So now they're wondering, what in the world am I going to do? I was not expecting this. I was not expecting for these low enrollments to happen. What in the world can I do now? And let me tell you a brief story time as well. Before I started Derek Writes, in fact, in the beginning stages of when I started Derek Writes, I was in college. I was a sophomore going into becoming a junior in college. And at the time, before I even started as well, back in 2019, I was working at a tax company. I was a receptionist, but I was working at the tax company, and I had to familiarize myself with a little bit of tax principles and things of that nature in order to best help clients who called over the phone and things of that nature. So first and foremost, when I worked that job, it exposed me to a lot about the tax industry and how important it essentially is to everyone, individuals, businesses, corporations, whatever. But when I definitely started Derek Writes, while I was still in college, there was definitely a shift that was occurring at the job and in college. And I had been an accounting major ever since I first got into college. I always knew that I wanted to major in accounting or in some, at the least, as some finance related degree and things of that nature. But the shift was occurring. I felt it myself, and some of my peers also felt it too. For example, that year, actually, when I started my junior year, of course, this was before COVID as well, because I started my junior year in fall of 2019. Y'all can realize the chaos that occurred, not even the next semester. So when accounting firms would come and try to recruit us, it was more personal. It was more exciting, because it's just hey, I'll be working for this great company. I'll be making a difference. I'll be reaching my own business goals in no time. But like I mentioned before, and like they mentioned, which I believe is still true, COVID changed things big time. So when COVID hit, like I said, I was still in school. I was finishing school online, and I was still in the beginning stages of starting Derek Writes. But even then, the shift it changed significantly from fall 2019 to even fall of 2020, just because more and more of my peers, I listened to them as well, and we would talk about this. More and more of my peers were basically saying they didn't know if they thought it was worth it to work for a company for a certain amount of time just to get a certain amount of experience, a certain amount of years of experience and things of that nature, just to take a CPA exam. And lead to a career that they potentially may or may not want to pursue years down the line. You know what I'm saying? Now, keep in mind as well that I am part of Gen Z as well. I'm part of the older sector of Gen Z. I was born in 99, but a lot of people who are coming into the professional spaces for these industries are Gen Zers. So of course our minds think a little differently as opposed to people who are coming in who are part of the previous generations beforehand. So that shift was very evident between 2019 and even now. So it caught a lot of businesses off guard. So in my opinion, basically, to wrap that up, it was bound to happen. COVID just fast tracked it. And now it's just what do you do? And for you as an accounting or finance related business owner who's trying to improve their copy and things of that nature, you might be asking yourself the same questions that they're asking about their own structures for their businesses. What can you do with your copy? What can you do with the words that you use in your emails and your websites and your landing pages and your blogs and articles and your social media captions, whatever? What can you do to see a significant shift in your industry. What can you do to see the results that you desire? Because right now what you're doing is probably not working, especially if you're not utilizing storytelling strategies to begin with. Yeah, personalization is here to stay, y'all. I'm telling you that right now. So it's important for you to use storytelling tactics, which I will go into a little bit here, especially in professional industries. So let's see. Okay, so this leads exactly to what I wanted to talk about now. So what is the storytelling copywriting solution? I have two main points that I want to talk to y'all about. And please, if you have any questions or anything, please feel free to drop them in the chat or anything like that. Drop them in the question box. I'll be addressing them here. And let me know if you're finding this helpful as well, because I want to be sure that I'm providing useful information for you during these industry talk segments. Yes, we're talking about the latest and greatest news in the accounting and finance industries, but I'm also providing value as well. So please let me know if you're getting value from this, and we'll go from there. So I'm just going to go straight into it. There are two main tips that I want you to take away from this story, or the story, the news article, the shift, things of that nature. These are two things that I want you to realize about your copy that you need to start doing today if you have not started doing it for the holiday season. Like I said, if you're selling something or trying to onboard new clients, this is very important. So pay attention, get your pen and pencil ready, whatever. So 1, the narrative needs to change with changing times and changing lifestyles, emotions/evolutions of your target audience. I know that was a little bit of a mouthful, but let me explain what I mean by that. So back to my story, that shift occurred during a time where we were still developing as college students. So obviously our minds thought differently from 2019 to now in 2022, right? The same is going to happen with your audience as well. Sometimes their pain points, sometimes where they are in their life, that evolves, that changes, and you have to adapt your copy to that as well. So for example, let's say that you're a tax business that's trying to elevate your clients. Actually, no, let's backtrack. Let's make something a little easier. Let's say that you are a personal finance business and your goal is to create budgets for your clients to get them to save more and ultimately have more money in their pockets. Let's say that. The main problem areas that your audience may have is that they may be overspending. They may spend money on unnecessary items that they don't need. They may not even have a budget. That could be their pain points. You can talk about how much money they're missing out on, how much freedom they're missing out on, and so much more, right? But let's say that as you are working with them and they're implementing the tactics and things of that nature that you have in store for them, let's say that because of that, they have elevated. They have track of their budgeting. They are good. In fact, they're actually making more money and they are trying to elevate in their income level. Let's say that. Let's say they elevated in their income level because of this budget and now they're in a completely new like tax bracket or something like that. Their pain points are going to be a little different now that they have a little more money in their pockets and they're trying to achieve new goals. So therefore, you have to learn about what those pain points are for them. That's why it's important for you to have personal relationships with your audience members, because they can turn into loyal clientele. And then they can openly tell you what issues they're facing, what they have going on, and things of that nature. That's what I see a lot of professional industries, especially accounting and finance firms, they're missing the mark on. That's where their branding is missing the mark on as well, is the personalization is not there. It's always just straight to the point, facts, this, principles, updates, blah, 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 blah. Where's the personalization with that, right? So you owning your own accounting and finance related business, you have the upper hand. So please take advantage of that. Please learn about your audience's pain points, especially as they elevate when they use your products or services, or even if they are just like stuck at a standstill or anything like that. Please pay attention to them, listen to them, especially with their pain points. They tell a lot more than you think. That'll be another live in itself because that goes deep, okay? So that's the first point that I want y'all to understand. And then the second one, which I already touched on a little bit more in the first one, is to evolve the story you tell in your copy. Now, this one is important because a lot of people confuse evolving with growing, and they are two completely different things. I recently learned that from myself working with one of my clients, that there is a difference between a lot of the words that you may be using in your copy right now that are confusing your audience and making them think that what you're saying doesn't apply to them, or what you are thinking is completely different from what they're trying to do and things of that nature. So let me briefly tell you what evolving means, because that's going to definitely help you when you are coming up with your copy and things of that nature. So evolve simply means to develop gradually. Once again, evolve means to develop develop gradually, which means that you are taking step by step by step to truly elevate, to evolve. And that's what you need to do with your copy. Another problem that I see in a lot, and my clients have spoke to me about this before too, is that because you are in an accounting and finance related space, your mind is too analytical to truly think about a story that can help your audience like tenfold. And that's what usually comes with being in the accounting and finance industry as well. I mean, I know before I graduated, that was pretty much instilled in me and what I learned and things of that nature. Even when I worked my internships too. Okay, I was looking for my water. Even when I worked my internships, there was just so much like straight to the point, like no personalization or anything like that. Even when it came to like emails and stuff like that. But hey, the industry is definitely changing, and what I foresee is it'll be more personal down the line, and that's going to help elevate or evolve the accounting and finance industries. But that's besides the point of what I was trying to say. That's what evolve means. So when it comes to evolving your copy, start off small. Don't just try to figure out everything all at once. Sometimes you do have to start small just to see what works for your target audience. So for example, maybe you can change out some wording that you use that sounds a little doubtful in your emails, or maybe you can change up the SEO that's on your websites, because that's probably attracting the wrong audience that you are not looking to attract, or it's confusing them as well. Or that also could include switching up or trying new blog titles and things of that nature that entice more personalization or gets them more interested in what you have to say in your writing. There are a bunch of small steps that you can take, but start off small. If you go in for the big punch, then I feel like you'll overwhelm yourself in your business, especially with everything else that you have going on. And we're not trying to do that, right? We're trying to elevate your copy and elevate your impact as well, in addition to elevating your sales. Now, like I said, a lot of what I'm saying, in fact, all of it can go towards the holiday rush as well. This just took a different turn. So it's still useful, but it's useful in the holiday aspect of it, but in the whole picture of it as well. So think about that. Think about areas in your copy now where you can see some improvement. Maybe you're trying to grow your email list, or maybe you're trying to attract more eyes on your blogs or on your website, landing pages and things of that nature. Think about where you can start with those small steps. Think about if you're using the right wording that matches your brand and things of that nature, because that's really important. And that's what most people do not realize about their wording, is that if it doesn't match your brand, it can confuse your audience and get them to not take action. Again, that's another lie we can talk about later on down the line. I might add that as a topic for 2023. Thank y'all so much for the hearts. Thank you for letting me know that you understand everything and that this is useful. One last thing I'll say. I'll leave you with a question, actually. I'll leave you with a brief question I want you to think about before I answer it. So, how will you learn more about your target audience is a good question that I want you to analyze, because it's important for you to still understand your audience's pain points, where they are currently, and how you can help them in those problem areas, right? But like I just mentioned, sometimes they can evolve, sometimes they can change. Sometimes you have to think about like the deeper picture besides like the pain point itself. So for example, if they have problems with budgeting, do you also think that they'll have problem with their money management skills? Or maybe they'll have issues with letting go of things that they're spending unnecessary money on and things of that nature. These are areas that you can touch on in your copy as well that can help them, give them that reality check. Okay, like, hey, you're spending too much money in this area, like what's going on? And it really gets in their mind as well as like, oh my gosh, you understand what I'm saying. You are reading my mind at this moment. Like, you know what? I need to book with you. I need to book a consultation with you. Or, oh my gosh, I need to purchase your ebook. I need to purchase your guide or whatever to help me out. That's what happens when you dive into the deeper side of things. And what I like to call them, and what it's called in storytelling, is details. Details are so important. I've learned that so much just being on social media. Details are so important. They get people tuned in like it's nothing. Like it's everything to them, okay? So, and what I also have here is, paying deeper attention to what they say, what they show you, what they feel, and things of that nature. Go deeper into what they tell you their pain points are, because there's always something deeper. There are roots underneath that. I'm serious. It often depicts what they are thinking. Okay? So, those are some things I want y'all to take away when you think about the copy that you create for the Christmas season or for the holiday season, because I know not everyone celebrates Christmas, but also for the upcoming tax season as well. I want you to truly think about this. Think about those things, because this is really going to help you elevate your copy. Like, these are gems that many people in the professional industries in accounting and finance will not tell you, because they don't see the value of storytelling, I'm going to be honest with you, which is why I'm here to make that change happen. See? So, I'm going to take a moment. I'm going to take any questions that y'all may have about what I've said, or take a moment for y'all to comment, and while I make a few announcements. Okay, so the rest of the industry talks for this month are going to revolve around tax season. I'll spend one more week prepping you all for Christmas. I'll spend one more week prepping you all for Christmas. And it'll be this upcoming week. But for even at that, I'm going to be implementing more on tax season. So, sorry y'all, I got a little uncomfortable. So the rest of my industry talk segments okay. Am I back now? Okay, I'm back. So, the end result is to prepare y'all for tax season, is what I'm trying to say. We're still going to touch on specific accounting and finance related topics that are out there, and I'll tie in some copywriting and storytelling copywriting tips that you can utilize to prepare for tax season. So that's what I wanted to announce as well, is that for the rest of December, for the rest of the industry talks that I'm going to do, like next Saturday and beyond, it's going to revolve around prepping you for tax season, your copy for tax season, because I know that's a busy time. My clients are also preparing for tax season as well, so they're a little bit stressed, but that's why I'm here to help. So it doesn't look like I have any questions. That's a-okay. So I'm going to go on and end the live here. So if you found this useful, please like, comment, and share as well, and save to refer to later on for yourself, because my whole purpose here is to help accounting and finance businesses really elevate their copy to make them more impactful and help them increase their sales. Okay. So, I hope that y'all have a great rest of your Saturday. Please stay safe out there, and I will speak to y'all next Saturday. Bye.